Greetings. After watching this video, your brain is definitely going to be transformed. Okay, the first thing I'm going to teach you about your brain is that your brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency. That is why you have outgoing thoughts and you have incoming thoughts. So you're walking, living signal station. But for you to really understand that you are walking, living signal station, you have to understand energy, vibration, and frequency. Everyone have a cell phone and they can speak to anyone, any part of the world. Well, the reason for that is because of energy, vibration, and frequency. Okay, not because of a man in the sky. Okay, it is because of a power that is within you. And when you discover that power, you can use that power to achieve your every desire. Isn't it ironic that most melanated people who are very superstitious and religious, they hardly bring anything into this world to really uplift the rest of humanity. And so we become very, very dependent on other race of people. For example, in my country, most people really, really believe in what they were told concerning tourism versus agriculture. But when you understand the sowing of a seed, and you understand it in the physical realm and the psychological realm, then you will understand where I'm coming from. So let me simplify it for you. You see, your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts, they are seed. And whatever seed or whatever thought you sow, and it impress upon your subconscious mind, based on your feeling and your emotion, it will bring forth what people call your personality. That is the fruit. Well, if you see it in the psychological realm, then you must see it also in the physical realm. When a farmer goes out and he sows a seed, let's say he sows pumpkin, okay, that pumpkin seed has in it the germ of life, and it's gonna bring forth that. So agriculture is no different to you teaching people about how the mind works. But instead of they teaching you about how the mind works, they give you tourism, which they call tourism. So there's a race of people depending on another race of people and think this other race of people is better than them, are they more richer than them. But no, you born with all your riches inside of you. Let me explain it for you. You born in this world with your will and your perception, with your reasoning, with your intuition and your imagination. But they hijack all of that through the early school system. You see, from the time you come from your mother's womb right up to the age of 7 and 8, it is called your formative years. Just like you could format a computer. I remember you are a supercomputer. So you call it formative years. And in your formative years is where you get your program. So if you grow up and within your age of 7 and 8, your first 7 to 8 years, if your parents all they talking about is lack and scarcity, they speak about just violence, they speak about robbery, you name it, whatever. Okay, they pour into you. That is what you become. And this secret is in the Bible too, where it says if you train up a child in the way, and our great grandparents and so on and ancestors, right? Because the colonizers and oppressors force these things into them. They make you believe that when they say to train up a child, it means that you must get a child to believe in a blonde hair, blue-eyed boy, and to believe there's some man in the sky. Okay, but it doesn't mean that. It means that the way you train your child in the formative years, that is what would help him to bring forth a certain life as he grows into becoming an adult. That is what it's all about. That is why, for example, if let's say a man used to drink heavily and he was alcoholic and he goes with a woman, he's pouring all of that into the woman, and so the woman brings forth a son, and after a while the son starts to drink too and become an alcoholic. It passed down to the DNA. Okay, it passed down. So basically that is what is going on, why our people been kept so blind for so long in mental slavery. And that's why they're still trapped in secular Christianity. That's pointing them to look outwardly. That's why they would think I am stupid. They would think I am crazy when I say there's no man in the sky coming to save you. And that Jesus was never no literal one special man 2,000 years ago with special powers. No, it's a secret that you carry within you. That's why it says in the very Bible, if you understand it, it says in the beginning was the word. Do you know what is a word? A word is the expression of a thought. So it's teaching you about how the mind works. So it's telling you that everything was first a thought and everything was first an idea. So he said in the beginning was the word and the word was with God. The same was in the beginning with God. And he said all things was made by him and without him was not anything made that was made. Tell me for one thing that was made in this world that wasn't first a thought, or first an idea, or first imagined. Tell me of one thing that wasn't first in someone's mind. That is why all these religious people who like to tell you, oh, this is demonic, and that is demonic, they will never tell you that money is demonic. They will never tell you that. I would lay down my life for what I am saying here because I know they will never tell you that money is demonic because they will defeat their purpose. That's why, for example, if you disagree with me, right, I challenge you. If you're part of any religious body and you're poor, I guarantee you they will treat you like shit. Poor people in church is treated like shit. They will never get certain position. They would never be looked upon. I can guarantee you that. So my brothers and my sisters, those of you who are listening to me, okay, what I'm saying is not for everybody. It's for people who just as crazy like me. Because hey, before the system call you crazy, you call yourself crazy. Because the first thing that they will say that you're crazy. Okay, when that doesn't work, then they will try to imprison you. When that doesn't work, then the last thing they try to do is kill you. Many people are reading about Jesus and they say they believe in Jesus, right? But let's say this whole story, let's say it is true. Okay? Do you realize that the religious and political system was against such a man? And everything I just said is what they wanted was to do to this man. They wanted to destroy his reputation. His reputation. And then when they couldn't do that, they tried to imprison him. And when that couldn't work, they claimed that they killed him. Okay? But it's the same thing with you. So my brothers and my sisters, this is basically to really help you to understand how the mind really works. And so as I said earlier, if you really listen to this video, it will change your brain. Because this is what you will get. This is the main thing I'm going to get to you. Okay? If you understand this, you'll understand everything that I am saying to you. It is not a coincidence that the Bible in Romans 12, what it tell you? It says you must be transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. It is saying the only how you could transform your life is by the renewing of your mind. You don't need to go to church and make a preacher jump up and down on a pulpit and with a bunch of perspiration but no inspiration to teach you how to think. All you need is a good mentor to teach you how to think. Because everything is mental. Everything is psychological. Okay? So all is mind. We're living in a mental construct. And as long as you discover that we're living in a mental construct, you start to think different. And you wouldn't blame no devil because there's no entity outside of you. Okay, it is your mind, your negative, stinking, dirty, low thinking have you vibrating on a low frequency. That is the devil and that is you vibrating down in hell. Okay, so it's all is mind. So, hold yourself responsible for everything that's happening in your life. They want you to reject accountability, so they give you a devil to blame. Well, if there was really a devil, why you are the one who will go in prison and serve time in prison for the thing you do? Yeah, why? So my brother, my sister, you have to wake up, you know. Right in my country here, while service was going on in the church, the pastor's son was in the back getting a blowjob from an underage girl. Okay, and you're not gonna hear much about that. Okay, they're gonna keep that stifle until people actually forget about it. You know, and you know, almost 40 years, this man have a foundation that can't finish. Tell the people he was gonna build a church for them. And never build that. Instead, what he did, he gave them entertainment. Okay. So my brother, my sisters, what I'm saying here is to get you to wake up and to realize that religion has been used to keep you brainwashed and controlled. There are 3 systems in this world that they're using to subjugate you. First of all, in a very young formative years, they use the educational system to block you from your power. Okay? And let me simplify that for you to let you know what I really mean. For example, right? The book you use in school, it was for us imagine. The pencil, it was for us imagine. The pen, it was for us imagine. The blackboard, it was for us imagine. The building, it was for us imagine. So they're robbing you of the power of your imagination. Because your imagination is the only power that they use in this world to farm, to shape, to mold, and to do everything and anything. That is why they don't want you to discover the power of imagination, because imagination is God in man. So they give you an outside God. So they don't want you to discover that. Okay, so you have that system, okay, where they're robbing you in your formative years, and then they make sure, especially in the Caribbean and other so-called countries, where they call third world countries. The reason why they call them third world country, because they are formulating a third class mentality in you. And unless you break that third class mentality and rise to first class mentality, you would think I am stupid and that I am crazy. Okay? And so the educational system and the religious system and the political systems, well, the whole political system all around the world is what basically put these other systems in place. And so they can't do it without your permission. That is why every between 4 or 5 years, they're asking you for your energy. And you give them your energy to an X. And you think it's just easy to mark an X. And you don't know it is you giving them permission. Okay? You giving away your energy, your power. Okay, so my brother, my sisters, you have to wake up and realize that you are a powerful being and that you are not a human. You're only having a human experience. Your true essence is spirit. For example, I'm speaking to you. Do you see words coming out of my mouth? You can't see. No words coming out of my mouth. Why? Because he who speaks is not this body that you're seeing. This body is just the house. But the real being that is speaking, when the real being leave this house, they take this body and they carry it down to the cemetery. Oh my, the day you discover who you are is the day you understand true power. And then you realize all these people who you think have power, they have no power. As a matter of fact, all of us have the same power. But many people give their power away to preachers and politicians. And also, even to their teachers who teach them in school. You know, because they believe, well, they empower them. No, they only make you a worker. That's all. They only equip you to get a job. But when you understand the power of your mind, you can change from the employee to the employer. And you can have more time on your hand. For example, I could be here bringing this video to you because I have time. Because rich people buy time. Okay, while other people exchange their time for money. I can go into a lot of things, okay, but as I said earlier in this video, if you listen to me, it's definitely gonna change your brain. Because what I'm actually doing, when I speak to you and you listen to me and you have an open mind, I'm opening up new neural pathways in your brain. Okay, and I'm resetting your reticular activating system. That's what I'm doing. So my brother, my sister, I can go on and on and on. But I'm going to come to a close and I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me, what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraged to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. Also, if you like to get my books, the links are down in the description. You can check out my books. I have more than 10 books there available to you. Also, I have 2 gratitude journal where you can journal your life. So I'll also encourage you to check those out. Also, if you like to do a one-on-one with me, you can do a one-on-one with me with an app with more than 100 plus other leaders there, teachers and so on, who will teach you. Many of them are really just people, they call themselves prophet, prophetess, bishop, this and that and all of that, okay? But the choice is yours, okay? The good thing about that platform is that they allow people like me who more base their teaching and spirituality to teach there also. So you can definitely book a one-on-one there with me. Also, if you like to become a part of my Patreon community, you're welcome. And I have a course there that's called the Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. So all the information is down in the description down below. So let me come to a close here by saying that always let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. Out.